Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for coming, and thank organizers for giving me that opportunity to share some tips on mindful lecture learning with you. So my name is Nastya, and in case you are wondering what is that blob, it's a seed, and we will talk about seeds in a few moments. But before I start, I like to play a lot, and I invite you to join me in that playing. So in my presentation, there will be 3 drawings, and they will contain some code. So I invite you to be a little bit mindful, so you will not look at your smartphones, and you will try to find the hidden word. And once you find it, you can use it as a way to talk with me after the lecture. Okay, so who am I? As Peter said, I'm a data scientist, but I'm also organizing some programming course with my husband. You can see us in action in Sunday when we will be doing a workshop, Put Your Data on Map with Ease, or you can join us in our Prague workshop in the end of August about web scraping. So why should I talk about learning? As Peter also said in his introduction, I made a huge switch in my career. So I made an education as a geneticist. So I was a lab worker doing some forensic genetics, as you can see in CSI Miami. Then I switched to bioinformatics, and then I left the field of biology completely, and now I'm doing data science. And during that change in my career, my learning experience also changed. In case you are bothered by the cursor, I will move it a little bit. So I started to teach almost 10 years ago during my PhD, and my first lecturing was genetics for medical students, then it was programming for biologists, and now we are organizing together with Philip programming courses for adults. So from these almost 10 years, I have plenty of experience and tips to share with you. But what was inspiration for this talk was this situation. So this is my husband and my son in the end of last year. In about 6 a.m., we just discovered that we can use whiteboard markers to write on our fridge, and Philip is solving exercise from the code game called Advent of Code. Do someone of you knows Advent of Code or were participating? Okay, so a few of you were. So this is a coding game. It's during the whole Advent. It's language independent, which means that you can use whatever language you want. And each day you will get 2 exercises to solve. They all are connected with some Advent story that you need to help Santa. And you need to complete first exercise in order to make the second one. So this is my profile, and the asterisk indicates completed tasks. So as you can see, I didn't make it till the end, but what was bothering me was not that I didn't make it till the end, but that the process were not so enjoyable as I thought that it would be. So all of these thoughts, disturbing thoughts, were very loud in my head. And actually these thoughts, they were preventing me or making it really very hard to start to actually work on some programming. So maybe you can recognize some of your thoughts that are running in your head. And I noticed those thoughts because I was already practicing mindfulness for a little while, and I also was already at that point working as a data scientist. So I was programming for a living for several years, and I thought that if I had such thoughts, that people who I'm teaching could also have such thoughts. And this was a moment when I realized that I need to bring mindfulness from my personal life to my professional life. So if maybe some of you do not know what is mindfulness, so mindfulness is, it's easier said than done. It's just being in a present moment. So we can try to do that right now. So take a deep breath in and deep breath out. And feel whatever, so you are sitting, maybe you have some itching, maybe you have some aches. I could feel like my heart is really pumping because I'm nervous. So here you can see on the right side that most of the time, all of us, me including, are not in the present moment. So we either are in meetings that we had, or meetings that we will be, or we are recalling some nice or not nice talk with our partner, or we are thinking about some situation from our childhood. But by being mindful, you are not preventing these thoughts, you are just observing them non-judgmentally. And by observing, you are calming them down. So you may think, okay, well, it sounds nice. Why should we incorporate that in learning? So by calming your thoughts down, you're reducing stress, and you're also increasing your brain capacity for a better focus and a better attention. And with increased capacity, also creativity arises. And what is a major thing is that mindful learning, in contrary to the standard way of learning, that in standard way of learning, there is a whole concept of delayed gratification. So it means I will suffer now, and I will get benefit later. Actually, in Czech, we have really very nice word for that. It's nalejvárna, which means actually pouring knowledge into one's head without actually any connection to that person. So delayed gratification doesn't work. I think that all of you already who tried some diets already tried. So, and the most important thing is that mindful learning is effective learning. So I thought that we will be talking about seeds a little bit. So you can imagine seeds as all of desires what to learn in your mind. So mindfulness can help you with quite a lot of aspects of learning. So for example, you can pour attention on what you want to learn by being mindful, being present in the learning moment. Mindfulness can also help you to deal with the fact that learning doesn't come overnight. So you need to cope with that, and mindfulness can also help you to create good conditions for your learning to become a skill, because it will calm the negative thoughts. So these all concepts are quite abstract. So how can we implement it into learning or teaching? So next I will be presenting some practical tips, both for people who are learning something and for people who are teaching, because I'm very happy to be part of a huge Python community here in Czech Republic. So first is work on individual projects. It means find data that you're passionate about and make project personal. And you may think, well, okay, that works for some workshop, but what about my work? Well, in work you could not select the data most of the time, but you can find something in the data that you are interested. And just by changing your attitude, your work efficiency could change. If you're a workshop leader, that what we have a huge good feedback is when the students are working on the individual project in classes. So everyone knows that no one likes homeworks, and when people are adults, they have a lot of commitments, so they do not like to do homework. So make the work on individual project during the lecture section. Next thing is, no one is perfect. It means that we try to teach our students do not to be scared of the errors. Every software developer could say that error is a good way because this is a place where to start search for a problem. So you can learn programming by twisting the code so you can generate errors and you can by that figure out what the code is doing. If you're a workshop leader, it's very good to Google things in a live coding session so people see that you do not know plenty of things and you can still do the job. And also what we find really very good is include debugging exercise. This is very good when you are learning syntax in Python, that it becomes a game. Then the very important concept for me is play. So enjoy the process, not the way of delayed gratification. Remember, delayed gratification doesn't work. So you can participate in coding games. There's a plenty of them. For example, Advent of Code or any other language-specific or language-independent. And what I do personally is I like to draw the graph because I'm doing a lot of data visualization before I'm actually writing the code. And for the workshop leader, so this is not the code word. This is the print screen of our installation manual. So we try to make the installation as a game, so the participant know when he has a meaningful word in the plot, that means that installation was successful. And what we also find to be really very good is use programming games without computer as icebreakers. So if you're thinking about something like this, I definitely recommend you to look at Computer Science Unplugged, because I have a plenty of things what to do with programming without computers. And the last recommendation for the workshop leaders is that promote discussion with the participants. You all know it. And I think that most of you update lecture material before each workshop, but what we find very beneficial is update each workshop material after the class. So after the discussing with the students, so their new concepts or new off-topics come into the lecture material. And then, when you do that, you make the friendly atmosphere to make the whole process calm and to promote mindful learning. So, thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Nastya. Now we do this weird thing where we ask the speaker to switch to the Slido to make it easier for the AV.
Yeah, and it doesn't work.
And it doesn't work. All right, so I will need to...
Now it
does.
Yeah, okay.
We see the question. Sorry for that. Does having kids help you with teaching, or does it slow you down?
Well, I think that it definitely helped me because with the kids you get a lot of intense emotions, really, like all of the parents could say the same. So one you are enjoying, you can post Instagrammable photos, and in another minute you're just saying like, oh, what am I doing? Like, why am I having kids? So all of that led me to be more mindful. So actually, yes, I think that so I have only one son. I'm expecting another baby, and my son can help me in each aspect of my life, including teaching and my professional life.
Thank you. Does anybody else have a question? All right, so if you have any more, please find Nastya at the conference. Thank you, Nastya.
Thank you.